Now on CBBC2, it's time for the magic to happen. Here's Sorcerer's Apprentice Extra. Here it is. Here it is. My wand doesn't work.
Welcome to the Sorcerer's Apprentice Extra. It's the show that brings you all the latest news from inside there, the Sorcerer's Magic School. And if I were you, I wouldn't touch that button, because rumour has it, he's watching you. Coming up on today's show.
What have we got to learn to do?
Lie!
We get exclusive access to a very peculiar lesson when the sorceries are taught how to lie.
I'm a boy. That's your hat.
I stir up the competition between Mr. Knight and Miss Evans.
You keep speaking over me, it's unfair.
We have Harvey, Sammy and Mehmet. How you doing, fellas?
And I find out what the boys really care about.
I'd rather not win it and have a laugh along the way than not have a laugh along the way and win it.
At the Sorcerer's Magic School, 7 boys and 7 girls from all over the country are competing to become the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
The kind of apprentice that I'm looking for, somebody that is dedicated, somebody that seeks to be skillful, somebody that aims for perfection.
On Sorcerer's Apprentice Extra, we'll be following our wannabe magicians every step of the way.
We can only give them a round of applause for that. Brilliant.
Hello, Mr. Sorcerer, sir. Showing you exclusive interviews and uncut footage.
Group hug.
Yeah!
And bringing you our own unique take on all things magical.
Into the rib cage.
After night comes day, and it's 8:30 a.m. and in just 15 minutes' time, 14 trainee magicians are going to be going to their first assembly. So what I thought we'd do is find out a little bit more about what they're going to need to do.
Come.
Hello, Mr. Sorcerer, sir.
Good morning.
Do you have some time to talk to us through? Is that okay?
Have a seat.
Lovely. So, it's the first assembly.
Yes.
I just thought I'd come and find out what's going to be required this morning.
Well, today we're learning about vanishing and appearance. They're two very important principles and disciplines in the genre of magic. The primary... sometimes happens. The primary requirement here is that people understand the basic principle of a vanish and of an appearance. And if they can begin to get their heads around that and start to make sense of it and start to work in that genre, then they can start to move on to other areas of magic.
What sort of character do you have to be, do you think, to be a good magician?
Someone who has a resolute will to be able to actually do the stuff required. So someone that's not going to just take a coin and practice a vanish, but someone that's actually going to spend hours and hours trying to make that thing vanish, working at it, and working at it, so that they can eventually perfect their art.
That is amazing. And is this something you've always done? I mean, did you go to a school yourself?
Well, of course, as a younger child, I sat under many great magicians and didn't interject, but just learned to watch and observe.
Whilst you've been talking, I have, of course, been observing and learning at the same time.
Oh, wow.
So on that note, Mr. Sorcerer, sir, I'll say goodbye and show you the amazing vanishing trick. How do I do it?
I have no idea. Good morning, sorceries.
This was the moment when the Sorcerer introduced the trainee magicians to the magical arts of vanishing and production.
Well, the way I understand a vanish is this. Something that exists in mass, energy, space, or time that either gradually or suddenly ceases to have an ontological status. And, conversely...
What is he going on about?
Does that make any sense?
I think that's a no, Sorcerer.
Good. Why don't we try it right now? Siegfried, would you pass me the birdcage, please? Thank you very much. In this day and age, we use a rubber canary. So don't worry too much. Very good. What we're going to do...
Then the sorceries got to lend a helping hand.
8, 7, 6, 5. Stop. Can you feel it? 4, 3, 2, and it's gone. That's what you call a vanish.
But when the sorcerer attempted to reproduce the birdcage, or in his words, return it to its original ontological state, it looked like there had been a bit of a magical hiccup.
Siegfried, this is not a canary cage. Why didn't you get me a smaller cage? Right, let's try something. You stand back over there. Now, Siegfried, let's bring this canary back. Are you ready to cover the cage? Okay. Bring it down. Now that the cloth is completely covering the cage, we say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and all the way up, and all the way back. And, oh, hang on a minute. And we should have... Hang on a second. That's not a canary.
He's got the canary.
Oh my goodness gracious me, you're right. It's the rubber canary. Let's get it out.
How's that for a result? The sorceries were certainly inspired.
St Bernard had a little canary, but we looked around the cage and there was no way they could have got him.
He couldn't hide a dog in his pocket, so it's just tricky on how to figure it out on how it got there.
He's really good at magic and we all really respect him, how good he is.
Want to stroke him? You can stroke him.
So, after the sorcerer's inspirational performance, it was time for our boys and girls to start learning their first trick.
Involving a lemon, a lime, and a coin. Should be interesting.
Gentlemen, hello. Come in, make your way around there. OK, I'm going to teach you your first trick now.
Mr. Knight, teaching the boys, asked them to show him the money in his class.
2 pence piece coin. Close the hand. You tap twice on the hand with the pencil. You bring it back. You open up your hand. The coin's completely vanished. And then show your hands. You can show your hands completely empty, right? To make it reappear, you close your hand. You bring your hand forward. You give it a bit of a snap. You open, and that's how you make the coin reappear. OK?
Easy. Right, boys?
OK, ladies, come on in. Follow me.
Miss Evans, teaching the girls, had a brand of magic that was a little fruitier.
We have a mat, we have a hat. Very simple. What I'm going to do is I'm going to snap my fingers and produce a lime. Lime goes into the hat. I'm going to snap my fingers, produce a lemon. Lemon goes in the hat. One more time. Lime. Now, I realise not everybody is a big fan of fruit. Of course, some of us would just prefer to have a party.
So, both tricks certainly looked the business, but what were the mysterious secrets behind them?
There is some wire on the side, which is holding a magnet very, very loosely there. You can pick up the coin, palm of your hand, close your hand, turn it over. Now, if I do this from this point of view, I then open my hand and I release the tension here, and I can just flick that magnet on. You'll be able to feel it in your hand as well. So it's now magnetised to the magnet, OK? I then pull it back, so it's now underneath my wrist. I can then turn my hand over to show to you guys that it's completely vanished. Move the magnet back, turn your hand over to make it reappear. OK?
Simple, just like the secret behind Miss Evans' trick.
Here we go, girls, look. Ah, and on this side, it's another piece.
That's why you didn't show us the other side.
Exactly, ah.
The tricks might have looked easy, but in the hands of our novice sorcerees, they were anything but.
It's kind of hard.
You dropped it.
Mine's broken.
You've broken it already, have you?
It's tucked inside my shirt.
It's not going well, though.
Despite the shaky start, the competition between the girls and the boys was up and running.
Promise me this will be kept a secret from the boys.
Just don't give any information away from here, right? There's no way I want anyone to win from that.
Now, you got to remember, they're pretty sneaky.
We know that they're gonna be like, oh, how did you do that? Because we're like so much better magicians than them.
And again, you've got to do it nice and slowly, Frankie. Do it slowly.
It's quite competitive between the boys and girls.
Maybe we'll mess around a bit, well, some of us, but we still get the practice in and we're going to pick it up way quicker.
They don't concentrate and they don't listen. They're not dedicated and disciplined.
I don't know what the girls like, actually, but boys are just definitely better. Come on, boys.
So the battle is well underway. But it's not just the sorcerees who are competing. Every day we're running our very own exclusive competition between the magic teachers.
There we go.
Alex.
It is Alex. Well done, 1 point.
Yesterday, Mr. Knight scraped an early lead by winning Name That Sorcery by 1 point.
7 points!
But how will they fare today?
Okay, now don't forget you're playing for the ever-prestigious trophy, the Teacher Challenge Cup. And there it is. All you need to do is notice in the picture what has vanished and what has been produced. So before you say your answer, you have to say vanished or production.
Okay.
Okay?
Fine.
You ready for this?
Yes, I am.
Let the games begin. Okay, so your first picture is this one.
Vanish.
Production hat.
Production hat. 1 point to Miss
Top
Evans.
hat,
Well
actually,
done. Of course, it's very
Yeah,
important
but-
you get the first word right,
Yeah.
okay? Next picture.
Production, Rose and Duck.
You're good. You're very good. That's 2-0.
You are dead.
Come on, Mr. Knight.
Vanish. Rose.
Okay.
Hang on. Come on. That
Yeah,
was me.
no, I think that was
Yeah,
you. 2-1.
Thank you.
Production,
Production.
Rose.
Production Rose.
Yeah.
And what else, Production Rose?
A production shirt.
You can have 1 point each for that. Okay, next picture.
Production monkey. Production
and
glove. Vanish.
Go on then, what's vanished?
The gloves have vanished.
Gloves.
The gloves have vanished.
And,
You stumbled quite a bit. I think you got that there.
Right.
But appearance with those
The
lovely
gloves are back and the
trousers.
trousers have changed.
You got that right because you missed the
You
gloves.
keep speaking over me. It's unfair. Appearance hat. Appearance nose. And a very unusual pose. Appearing umbrella. Umbrella. Beard. Nose. Eye. Glasses.
Glasses, that's 1 point each, I think. You've both got a guess for the last point, okay? Something has vanished. What is it? There's only one thing that's gone.
beard.
The beard! Well
Way!
done. Miss Evans gets the last point. Well done. We'll go to the judges now and find out what the scores are. 1 second.
That was tough.
Really? You're joking. Is that really the score? Mr. Knight,
Yes.
you scored 6 points.
That's good.
Well
That's
done.
good. Okay, thank you.
Miss Evans, 7 points.
Oh, you can't.
Yes. So I'm afraid that means... Well, it's a good thing because it's now a draw.
I'll let you
1
win
point
that one.
apiece.
Yeah,
Felt
I
sorry
could
for
tell
you.
you weren't trying.
Sometimes you can see sore losers from a mile away. Right, well, listen, it's OK because it is now 1-1. So we're now going to find out, of course, at the end of the series who wins the Teacher Challenge Cup. You want it, don't you?
So
you want
badly.
it, don't you?
So badly.
Well, we have another game tomorrow.
OK.
It's all to play for. Now, in order to be a really convincing performer, it's essential that you're able to tell little white lies. You wouldn't catch me doing that, though.
Don't be so sure. But one thing is certain. Lessons at the Magic School are totally unique and nothing like any lesson you'll have ever seen before.
Good morning, class. Well done.
As we found out when we got an exclusive invitation to the first lesson of Mr. Greenhosh, the Magic School's arts teacher.
Sit in silence. Do I have to say that every time? I hope not. The lessons that you're going to have with me are to do with the art of magic. We have to be dedicated. We have to be disciplined. We have to pay attention to that detail. If we are undisciplined, if we are not dedicated, what kind of magician are we going to be? Rubbish. Absolute rubbish. We're going to be booed off the stage. We must learn that discipline. Because magic, if you think about it, is a lie. In order to be great magicians, what have we got to learn to do? Louder! Lie! Exactly.
Mr. Greenhouse, a teacher, telling the sorceries to lie?
Think of any magic trick. For example, the lady sawn in half. Where's the blood? Where's all the wobbly bits going all over the place? No. We know it can't happen, don't we? You cannot take young Bailey here, stretch him out, cut him in half with the saw, put him back together again, off he goes. Doesn't work. No. And yet, we want to believe.
And so Mr. Greenhouse put the sorcery's powers of deception to the test. Each of them had to read out a statement to the class, who had to decide if they were telling the truth or big fat porky pies. First up, Rebecca Lord.
I'm a boy with purple eyes, 5 legs, and no nose.
True! Oh dear, I don't know what's going on in your head, Mr. Abercrave. Now, put your hand up if you think. Please give this some thought. Put your hand up if you think there was just a teeny-weeny bit of a lie in what she said. Yes, I think so. The lie is not believable. So in order to lie, We have to stick as closely to the truth as we can. Now, I ought to say that when we lie, we do so to further our craft. We don't go out of this room and start lying to everybody and anybody at will.
So remember, sorceries, you can lie, but only for the purposes of magic. Our trainee magicians have been taught that the key to developing their magic skills is the 3 Ds: dedication, discipline and detail. Unfortunately, one of our sorceries is having a spot of bother with the second D, discipline. Since he arrived at the magic school, Harvey has done nothing but push his luck.
Harvey, can you come here, please? I have actually, from the beginning of the day, right up to this point, had enough of you and your behaviour.
Guys, for all the boys, we've all been mucking around, but I think I've just been a bit worse than everyone else. I've been taking it a step too far.
By bedtime, it was clear that Harvey hadn't learnt his lesson at all. No, that's the girls' dormitories, Harvey, not the boys.
I nicked it. Okay, that'll do. Where's my mum?
No, I'm sorry. You've done it now.
What have I done?
You've gone into the girls' dorms again.
No, because she nicked
No,
it.
I'm sorry. No, wait a minute, I haven't finished with you. Come back here. Come back here!
Now, the last person you want to make an enemy of is Miss Ford.
When I called him, he walked away from me. I called him back and he refused to come back. I will be seeing the Sorcerer, hopefully this evening, to talk to him about it. And we'll need to do something serious about this issue.
Harvey was in real trouble, and the next morning he was summoned before the Sorcerer. It was looking like his future at the magic school was hanging in the balance.
You may go in, Harvey.
Harvey Bailey, stand here next to my table. I've got a whole list of grievances here, of things that you've done. The way that you're disruptive, the way that you're confrontational, the way that you've been rude. Do you think that's appropriate behaviour?
No, sir.
No, it isn't. I think you like it here. I think you want to be an apprentice, do you?
Yes, sir.
You do. Don't blow it, Harvey.
In we come, guys, nice and quietly.
Harvey's place at magic school was safe for the time being, but as the rest of the sorceries went off for lessons, Harvey was kept separate to begin an epic detention with Mr. Greenhouse.
What I want you to do, first of all, is just to write down 10 things that you think you will miss the most if you leave us.
I'm upset a bit because I'm in all this trouble. But I'm going to try and be good today, and hopefully the Sorcerer will let me stay.
Let's hope so, Harvey, but at least you're not boring. Everyone's got something to say about you.
He's just getting so annoying, I could just scream.
Harvey's behaviour is so bad.
I think he's just really funny. I don't think there's anything wrong with him.
He's quite nice, I like him, he's funny, he's a good friend.
He's the one that adds the bit of zest to the experience.
Time for me to get the inside line from the girls, I think. Well, hello, and welcome to my magic chat show with my favourite 3 guests. How you doing?
Bye.
Leona, Rebecca and Alex, this is where we catch up and talk a bit about how you're finding your time in the school.
Well, it's really good, the magic school and everything. The only bad thing about it is Harvey.
He wants to be all it and everything.
He wants to be centre of attention. Sorcerer said that he was lucky that they never got sent home because they were going to.
He said if anything else happened like that again, they would get sent home.
Mehmet, come and stand over here, please.
It certainly wasn't just Harvey getting into trouble. 2 more sorceries stepped up to give Miss Ford some lip.
Are you going to backchat me?
You're trying to say that it was me.
Wipe the smile off your face, Sammy. I'm not amused. I can't hear you.
Yeah, miss.
Say it again. Yes, Miss Ford. Look me in the eye when you're saying it.
Yeah, Miss Ford.
Yes, Miss Ford.
Yeah, Miss Ford. Yes, Miss.
Yes,
Yes,
Miss Ford.
Yes, Miss Ford. Yes, Miss Ford.
Harvey's coming down. Harvey better get down.
Back to Harvey, and we've got another exclusive for you. We were there when Harvey was brought back before the Sorcerer after his detention.
How's it been?
It's been good, but I was quite upset at one point.
I think that Bailey now realises what he's going to miss if he leaves us, don't you, Bailey? What's that?
I'm gonna miss the magic, especially, and all my mates.
What have you got to do, Bailey?
I've got to do less attention seeking, and instead of getting attention by being naughty and trying to make people laugh, I could get attention by being good at magic.
Okay. And do you know how you're going to try and stop yourself from doing naughty things?
I'm going to think about how much I like being here.
And I think as the days commence, you'll value more and more the respect of your peers and the respect of your mentors, the respect of your teachers, and the respect of your sorcerer.
So, would this be an end to Harvey's mischief? I'm sat here with three very important sorceries. I'm sure you recognise them. We have Harvey, Sammy and Mehmet. How you doing, fellas?
Yeah, right.
Good.
Yeah,
Behaving yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That wasn't very decisive, was it? You were shaking your head a little bit, because I've heard a story about you three being in trouble. Do you want to tell me more about it?
Us three?
Yeah,
No,
you three.
I don't know.
No, that's not.
We never get in trouble.
Butter wouldn't melt. And one of the rules was not to go into the girls' room, yeah, I'm
Yeah, but one
guessing?
of the other rules is if you're going to be a good magician, you have to lie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
yeah,
So that
it's
sets
true.
you up now, does it? OK.
So generally, we thought they was
So, hang
lying
on,
when they
hang
said
on.
the rules. So we didn't go into the girls' room, so we're brilliant magicians.
Hang on a minute. So by lying, you're a great magician.
Yeah, and we thought they was lying when they told us the rules.
If you're going to be naughty, then you're not going to be the Sorcerer's Apprentice. So how do you feel about that? Does that mean you're going to start behaving yourself, or are you?
Yeah,
or
I've been
what?
quite good today.
Have you?
No.
Sammy,
I fell down the stairs.
Right, how is that being good? Go on, tell me what you've done today.
He's been chatting bad and chatting back to the teachers, so he's been like being bad.
Listen, do you want to be the Sorcerer's Apprentice?
Yeah.
What are you going to do to make sure you're the Sorcerer's Apprentice?
Good. I would like to be his apprentice, but I wouldn't like to be his apprentice if all I have to do is just like practice, 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 not even like have a laugh. Like I'd rather not win it and have a laugh along the way than not have a laugh along the way and win it.
Our trainee magicians have had just 2 days to learn a new trick, which involves producing an object and making it disappear. And to make matters worse, they've got to perform it in front of the sorcerer himself. Are you both ready?
Indeed, yes. Yes.
Good.
And so it came to the big performance. Boys versus girls.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
One by one, the girls stepped up, and on the whole, their performances weren't bad.
One day, I clicked my fingers and out came a lime.
And a swish. And it's lime time.
The boys were a different matter. Not surprisingly, for a group more interested in having fun than practicing. Their performances were a disaster.
Now you see it? Now it's fallen.
Hello, my name is Thomas Parr.
But there was one ray of hope.
Tap it some more, and then when I go like that, and I go like that, it's gone.
Interesting performances this afternoon. Some people, in their lack of rehearsal and lack of practice, have pulled other people down and made them look bad. The girls at this stage are actually better performers than the boys.
One performance down, and it's a resounding victory for the girls. But there's a lot more to come. So, with the art of vanishing and production still fresh in our trainee magicians' minds, they now need to move on and master a new magic technique. And so our magician on the move, David Penn, shows us what's coming next for our trainee sorceries. On Sorcerer's Apprentice Extra, David will be hitting the streets and playgrounds of Great Britain to show us how the magic the sorceries are learning can be used in expert hands.
Transformation is the magical art of taking one object and changing it into another. Can you reach in, just grab a card, just take one? I'll turn around, then show the camera for me, OK? And then turn it back face down. Have you done that? Say stop. And remember your card, 'cause otherwise we get to the end and you say, oh, really? There's not much point then. Right, here we go. This is going to be really cool. Can you hold out one hand? Hold out one hand. That's the 6 of spades. This should take about 6 seconds. Put your other hand on top. OK, check this out. Watch, stay just there. Lift up your hand. Look, the 6 of spades has transformed into your card, the Jack of clubs. Check the key. Make sure it's OK, and there's nothing on my hands or anything like that, no? Nothing on the hands. Hold your hand out. Put your other hand over the top, like that. Put it over the top. This is going to feel a little bit strange because you'll feel the warm air, but don't get scared. It's going to get a little bit warm. Don't get scared. Let me just rub my hands together, create a little bit of energy. Are you ready for this? You'll feel that warm air start to build up right now like a fiery furnace right inside your hand, but don't worry. Slowly open your hand. Hold on to it. Put your other hand over the top. Right, stay just there. This is going to feel a bit weird for you, OK? But don't get scared. It's going to feel like it wants to move. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
It's weird, yeah. It's kind of freaky, but don't worry. It's weird, and it gets a bit warmer. Slowly open your hand. Only use your powers for good. Right, I want you to imagine you've gone up to a magical cash point machine, OK? Take the piece of paper. Let me give you the pen as well. I'm going to turn around. I want you to write on that. You can write on it £5, £10, £20, or if you're really greedy, £50. It's up to you. But you make a choice. Right on my back. Rest on my back. £10. You've gone for £10. Not that greedy. Fantastic. There's the piece of paper. It just says £10 on it. This really is a magical cash point machine, though. Look. Half its original size, but you can still see it. A quarter of its original size, but you can still see it. An eighth of its original size, but you can still see it. A 16th of its original size, but now I unfold it, and it metamorphosizes and changes into the £10 note. There you go.
David Penn there demonstrating transformation, the next magical art that our sorceries will be expected to master. Next time on Sorcerer's Apprentice, the pupils learn some cracking magic.
Oh, that's okay, that's fine.
The tricks prove difficult to handle.
I just can't hold it, I'm scared.
I think that so far my first impression has been bad.
And Mehmet turns over a whole new leaf.
I do want to become a Sorcerer's Apprentice, and I don't want to go.
I'll see you next time on Sorcerer's Apprentice Extra.
How do you beat a ninja? Monkey! Trick him? Kick him? No! Fart! SKUNKFU! Skunk Fu! Weekdays at 3:50 on CBBC One.
The star DSDs this week are John, who's getting into a right storm with weather forecasting. Street dancer Jess has a go at ballroom dancing. And the rock stars who try something very different. DSD with CBBC, weekdays at 7:15 on CBBC Two.
That's all for now on CBBC Two, but get yourself over to the CBBC channel right now for more of your favourite shows.